Hi, my name's Gary and I just want to show you something I've been working on for a while now. It's the beginnings of what I hope is going to be a nice little chest clock. I'll just show you my breadboard layout that I've got so far. And thanks to a YouTuber called dtony86, I managed to set up a 1Hz clock here using a 4060 timer and a 4013B flip-flop, and 4060 timer has a crystal and some other stuff to set it up, so that it's a frequency divider. What happens, you get 2 Hertz out of that, that's 2 cycles per second. You get it, and it's set up so it flicks flip-flop on and off, and what you get then is you get 1 Hertz. That's obviously 1 cycle per second, and it looks really monstrously complicated for what it is. What I wanted, so you see you got the 2 buttons there for each side of the chest clock. What I wanted, like a traditional chest clock, when you press both buttons it stops both the clocks, so that's similar to an analog clock in that way. And if I press that one, you see it starts that one over there, and if I press the other one, it starts the other. Both together stops it, and all that jazz there, all the diodes and stuff. Oh man, it's just to get the functionality of pressing both buttons and having both clocks stop. The actual theory of it is quite simple. I'll show you just a little schematic that I did. This is laid out slightly differently, but the theory is the same. So you've got 2 push switches there, and you've got, when both of them are up, it resets a flip-flop, and when both buttons are down it sets a flip-flop. Now what that does is, if you set both buttons down, it doesn't reset the flip-flop until both buttons are up. That's because it's humanly impossible to release both buttons together. If you didn't have that, then one clock would always start, and you see over here on the 4013 there is a when it stops them, it stays going only until you lift it up. But what it does is, when it's set to on, it sets the these 2 flip-flops here, and they stay switched on until that is, you press either of the buttons and it resets one and sets the other. So that's what I got so far. One problem I have at the moment, I'll just show you my original schematic that I drew before I got fed up and pulled everything apart. You can see over here that I originally used a 555 because I didn't have a 4060 and it was just to get the thing going. And when I had that, it would always be running when you powered it on. It would just, both clocks would be running, which is obviously wrong. So if you held both the buttons down, it would both the displays would be 0. Obviously you can only see one display on there because the schematic's not quite complete. I don't know why, but on the new one, when you power it on, they start up on a random number, so I don't know why. And also I don't know why, but the two flip-flops up here always start so that they're set, whereas originally when I had it, I had exactly the same schematic pretty much, but the layout was slightly different and it would start counting from 0 or 1, and I don't know why it's changed really. So what I'm going to have to do is have something that resets or sets, so it can reset the counters when the power goes on. So I'll show you. You have to wait a little while because the chips hold some power because they're like capacitive. I think that's the reason. So when you power it on, you see in here some of the segments didn't even light that time, but if I reset the thing, need a bit of wire. Damn, can't do it. Oh, that's a bit of a shamble. Well, anyway, they don't start up quite correctly, so they need to be reset. You can see all the segments are lit up once the thing's running. It works okay. So what I've got, I don't know if anybody can advise me. I've got a 46, no, it's a 4538 monostable, which maybe I can use that just to output a single pulse to, like, say, set the two flip-flops up here, which when they're set, it stops the clock from running, which you don't want the clock to run to start off with, because, you know, in a normal chess match, you know, both clocks are stopped to start off with. I also need it to reset both of the displays. So yeah, and obviously what I'm going to need to do now, I mean, originally I wanted a bigger breadboard, but I realised now that there's no point in having a bigger breadboard, because once it even gets a tiny little bit complicated, it just becomes a mess, and there's not much you can do about that. And you know, you don't always want to be cutting the leads off of resistors and stuff, because I like to tidy things up, because, you know, the thing's only going to be temporary and you're going to want to reuse those resistors at some stage. I know they only cost pence, but, you know, you don't want to Don't just want to waste stuff. So that's my clock. Yep. Eventually I'll have this section. Hopefully next time I do another video, I'll have this section all on a nice bit of strip board. Well, not a nice bit of strip board, depends on whether you like strip board or not. So okay, thank you very much for watching, and if you can give me any advice please on how to initialize things when you switch the power on, that would be very much appreciated. Okay, yeah, it's about 2 AM now I think, because I've just finished my shift working for a well-known pizza delivery company. In Midsummer Norton, no prizes for guessing. So electronics, and just trying to have fun and create some sort of life. So over and out. Until next time.